Monogamy is the relational primary standard that we've abided by for the past 5,000 years, even though we've proven that we're subjectively terrible at it.
For the years, we've caught 100 of them.
So do you consider that cheating, or so I don't know if you consider that cheating.
I had sex with other girls. I did everything.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Today, we're going to challenge the traditional model of monogamy and have a real discussion about our options in regard to dating and relationship. We're going to find out which is more equitable for each one of us, polyamory or monogamy. The first question is going to be, does love mean monogamy?
I think it's very marketed that way, that it's hard to think otherwise. It's so marketed, like monogamy, love, unity.
As long as I love this person for hundreds of years, then that's your one true love. But I don't think so.
To love somebody doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be monogamous with that person. Because I feel like love is so complex. Like, it's hard to say like you don't love somebody. I don't know, it's hard to just define it as that. Like, if it's not a monogamous relationship, you don't love it.
I've never been that nigga, but I feel like I could understand them niggas that be like, okay, I love you. Like, I love you, and I love her, and I love her, and I love her, you know? And so I'm like, who am I to say you don't love them? Yeah. I don't know. I believe you, you know? Maybe I move a different way.
You can absolutely be in love with multiple people at the same time, especially if you're somebody who feels in themselves, has a big heart. You have love and you have so much love to give, and not a single person can hold on to it. It's going to spill over, so it's going to spill over to the people around you. You can be in love with many people.
I think it's just like how he was talking about the different degrees.
But he said in love.
In love. See, I agree with Wendy.
In love and love is two different things.
I've never experienced it, so I wouldn't be able to like comment on if it's possible. I feel like I've seen it. I feel like it's definitely possible, but I mean, for me, just because I've never experienced it, I don't think I would ever be in those shoes.
But what is being in love? Like, I mean,
yeah, what is that? Can we define what it is?
I feel like being in love is like accepting like all that. Well, see, that's the thing, because now I'm thinking about it, it's subjective, because now that I'm thinking about it, it's going to come out as like a monogamous definition.
If you love a group of people, a specific group of people, wouldn't you technically be in love with?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's definitely
so
possible.
in a sense, that's what I'm saying. So well, I could be in love with 5 people because of 5 different reasons.
Yes. Yeah. And some of those relationships could be non-sexual too. True. You could be in love and it could be a non-sexual relationship.
I wouldn't know how to do that.
Is that like?
I know, because just how, like I said, how I've been raised, how I've been programmed, how I've been everything, it's hard to get over that. So I wouldn't know how to do that.
That would have to be somebody else's terms. You define it with your own.
In the specific case of monogamy and relationships, can one person ever be satisfied with only one person?
Sexually, no.
I mean, that's
sexually, no. Okay. I will say this, because at some certain point, attraction, visually, it's either a desensitizing to it. Sometimes you can even get a distaste from it, or you can just get tired of it, you know? So sexually, boring. You've tried all the things, you did it. You know what this person's ins and outs are. You know what they're gonna do. You even know when they're gonna fucking orgasm at this point. It's like clockwork, right? It's more of a job than it is an experience anymore.
Would you really love that person if it gets boring eventually?
Like,
there's a difference from like outgrowing compared to, okay, I love you. I don't mind doing the same thing with you because I just enjoy this with you. So in that sense, if you get tired of it eventually, then you really
tired
just
of that person.
You're tired of that person. You're more tired of like you already fulfilled whatever it is experience you need from that person. So now it's like, okay, I learned this or I gathered this for myself. I don't need you no more. I'm gonna find something new. So then in that sense, you didn't really love that person, because if you did, it would be, I can do this to you all the time. I will never get tired of it because I love you.
A different point is that, why can't you keep playing? You know, why can't you keep playing? Like, it's bored. Tell them you're bored. I'm bored. Can we do something else? Like, I know you know how to make me come, but can we try a different way? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like, I guess that brings up communication.
Yeah.
And if people get tired of communicating, and that's why maybe monogamy doesn't work. Like,
if you're bored with that person, kind of like to Angel's point, like if you're bored with that person, like there's something deeper that's there. Like, you know, like you're bored with the routine of it. Does it feel like it's a routine? Does it feel like it's like, you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't even say that that's necessarily monogamy, because there's some like polygamous relationships that, you know, polyamorous relationships, polyamorous relationships that will likely experience the same thing. Like I don't feel like I would ever really necessarily be bored with the person if I was communicating with that person, like clearly how I feel, what I want, what I don't want, what I like, what I don't like. I don't feel like I would necessarily like experience too much boredom and still be there.
Monogamy doesn't seem to incorporate a lot of the ideas of taking a break. I need a fucking break.
I'm a person of distance. I love from a distance. Sometimes I talk from a distance, and I'm not the most incorporated person. Let's do this together. Let's do that. I'm a very independent mover. And I know monogamy necessarily doesn't always call for that. And if you are going to be monogamous, you can't necessarily just choose that, because you'll be selfish in a way. You're not treating the relationship tenderly. But with polyamorous,
yes,
you have that option to actually distance yourself from everyone, because everyone is actually experiencing this together.
Exactly.
So it's an open collective of communication versus I have to talk to this and I have to talk. When you don't necessarily should always feel that way.
I think that sometimes I lead towards polyamory because it seems like people are more willing to have conversations or be flexible, because you can't just assume it's going to go one way. You know, it's like you have to ask that question, like, oh yeah, I'm fucking on so-and-so, like, and I'm doing this and that, like, what do you think about that? It makes you have to have that conversation. And so it's like you have more room to have your eccentric like relationship style. You know, it's like, oh, I can have how I like it to be.
Why are we terrible at monogamy?
Okay, so I think it's because we are in a society forced to believe that we have to be monogamous, so you're restricted. If you're truly monogamous, it's gonna work perfectly. It's fine, you're doing your own thing. But if you're doing it because you feel like you have to, it's definitely not gonna work. And you're for sure going to take someone's trust and misuse it.
I think that's a really good point. Like, we try to be in like a cookie cutter type society, and we're not cookie cutter type people. Like she said, like if you know that works for you, like go do that, and go do that with somebody that works, you know, that works for them
but
also.
Is it common though? Like that's the thing. Like I can't just go up to a female like, hey, let's have a polyamor.
But does
Have you ever tried?
I mean, but it would go into the same sense of me asking a girlfriend that I'm in a relationship with, a monogamous relationship with, like, let's have a threesome.
We don't even know how to really discuss it.
Yeah.
It's a poly lifestyle.
Because have we lived it? I haven't lived it.
Why does monogamy not work? Is because you get stuck to a point of like communicate like that.
Exactly. You just
like your passions, your inhibitions, like your inner self. You can't really evolve that to a monogamous relationship. Now, in the sense of community, you have the opportunity to talk to this person, and they relieve a certain sense of energy. You can't put all your pressures and woes on one person. Life don't work that way. So monogamy in a sense fails because you put all your woes and not only your romance, your stresses, your insecurities, your depression, everything you've been struggling with as a kid. You may have been this, you may have been that. And you want this one person to discover all that who got their own stuff they got to deal with too, and they want you. It's like a difficult balance.
That's because even in a monogamous relationship, like, why don't you have friends? Like, why aren't you like spending time with your family? Why aren't you like investing in other types of relationships, period? Like, even you could still be like romantically and sexually with one person and have many types of relationships that give you different things.
I feel like everybody should have the freedom to try it. You know, monogamy has been tried over and over and again, and we're in a time where we're liberating those constrictions we've had previous generations. So if you do, then yeah, I would say give it a try. Talk to the people that you feel these feelings for.
In addition to that, like understand yourself, understand like how you love, understand how you're fulfilled through love, understand what you can commit to, what you can't commit to, understand what you're willing to try, what you're not willing to try, and when it's something that you feel like it crosses the lines that you're not comfortable with, then, you know.
I think that it's about like being willing to play and practice continuously.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because you, even if you're gonna be with a person for 20 years, you act like that person gonna be the same person their whole life. Being willing to be like, okay, I like I kind of like just checking in. Like I just want to check in. How you doing?
Yeah.
I just want to check in. How you feeling? Be it polyamorous or monogamous.
Yeah.
Like, oh, are you still feeling this way? Okay, because I'm feeling like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just being willing to try it. Use this analogy of like learning a new game. Like you teaching a game to somebody, right? You're like, I got this new game, y'all. We finna play this game. It's gonna be tight as fuck. Like you gotta do this, that, and the other. You teach them the rules. They try to play the game. They mess up a couple times. They just learned the game.
Yeah.
So you gotta play a couple rounds. You feel
Exactly.
me? You gotta keep going a couple rounds and then get the swing of it. Like expectation of perfection is just not gonna work in any type of like.
So if you're gonna try it, don't let anyone take advantage of you. Ever. If they tell you, oh, I'm polyamorous and they're fucking you over, then that's not right. You set your own boundaries, know your own self-esteem, know your own confidence. You set your own rules. And honestly, you can do anything with that. You can be monogamous, polyamorous, whatever.
Is there a site for this shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to get loose.
Sign me up for this
I'm
polyamorous shit.
making too many decisions.
I'm asking for a friend.
God damn.
Damn it.
I'm just having a couple. They out
Shameless
there.
plug, Ethical Hoe or Ethical Slut. It's a book called Ethical Slut. It's a book on polyamory. I don't remember the artist, but it's on Amazon. It's called Ethical Slut.
There you go.
Hey, they be in the comments like all the niggas is drunk. I don't know what they're talking about.
It's like niggas is slumming over that word. They're like, oh, hold on.
You know you not. You said he asked me, right?
They just see one sober nigga in this dude.
You saw me babysitting. I was like,
Yeah, you was holding down like that. He was like,
No, this is a good conversation.